Okay, so these two drawers right here are where the ET tubes are housed. It's also where those manometers for the non-rebreathe are right here. So where it says laryngoscope, they're just kidding. That's where these guys live. So here's our ET tubes. Okay, we have lots of different sizes because our patients come in lots of different sizes. So 3 is the smallest that we keep her at school. If your practice works on like little tiny micro pets, like pocket pets or something like that, they might have tubes, varying types of tubes, and then different sizes, maybe even smaller. But 3s are smallest. I would use a 3 tube probably on like a 2-pound kitten. Anything bigger than that, you're gonna need a larger tube. And the rule of thumb with your tube is that you want to place an endotracheal tube that is the biggest fit that easily slides in. So you shouldn't have to force the tube, but you also don't want it wiggling around. So if I place a tube and I go, ooh, there's a lot of space around there, I'll just take it out and get a bigger tube. You don't want to use the cuff to inflate so big to take up that space, because remember, it's like breathing through a straw. So if I was, you know, a decent sized cat and I had this little tiny tube, you've now taken my tracheal opening and you've made it only this big around. So this is all I have to breathe with. So we want a nice big tube, but that gently fits right in there. So 3s are for your teeny weeniest patients. I'd say for most of your adult cats, you're probably gonna get a 4 or a 4.5. So I'll just kind of show you. 3.5, it's great for like your older kittens or your teenagers, but again, you can see still how tiny that is. You'd be surprised how big the trachea on a cat is. For most adult cats, you're probably gonna be going with one of these guys. So you can just kind of appreciate the difference, how this one's pretty tiny. If this fits in there, why wouldn't you use it? I can actually almost slide this inside of the other one, okay? So the biggest tube that fits comfortably, that's what you're looking for. And so when we grab tubes, you always grab the size you think you need, one bigger and one smaller, so you're not dancing around trying to find tubes in the middle of intubation. So it's great to have a nice selection to choose from. Put that laryngoscope in there, and once you see that trachea, then you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I can definitely put this 4.5 in there, or no, I better get something smaller, okay? So that's for cats. For dogs, I'd say even for my little tiny breeds, I can usually get a 5, but sometimes you need a 4.5. So I'll show you. So here's a 4.5 and a 5. It's not a huge difference. So if I can get that 5 in, I'm definitely gonna go. So if I have a teeny weeny little Chihuahua or Maltese or something, I'll probably grab a 5, a 5.5, and a 6. And I'm gonna try to place the biggest tube I can. Okay. And then coming on up. So here's your 5.5 right here. And then I'll see if I can find you a 6. So you can see these are still pretty small tubes. And again, most of your toy breeds actually have decent sized tracheas. So you're probably gonna be somewhere in here. I'll grab that 5 again. Okay, so this is gonna be for your little dogs. If you have a really big cat, you can place a 5 in them. So if I had a great big tomcat, I'd probably try to get that 5 in. Again, that's assuming it's gonna fit nice and comfortable for them, okay? So teeny tinies are gonna be over here, and then your bigger tubes are gonna be in here. So your big dogs, you're probably gonna be looking at some of these tubes that you're like, wow, that's huge, no way. It's absolutely gonna fit. If I have a big lab or a shepherd or, you know, a decent sized dog, like a large breed dog, then I'm gonna grab this 11. I might grab a 10 and a 10.5, but I'm probably gonna end up getting this 11 in there because again, we want the biggest diameter so our patient has lots of room to breathe. If you're looking at your medium sized dogs, you're probably gonna be in the somewhere between 9 and 10 range. There's no sort of specific every time this breed comes in, this is the tube I grab. You just sort of get used to it looking at different pets and looking at different tracheas. So I've been doing this a long time, so that when a patient comes in, I can pretty much guesstimate what size tube I'm going to use for them, and I'll grab, again, always 3 sizes. And so you'll just get the hang of that as you go. Some people will use the nasal planum, so the space right between their nostrils. They'll say like the tube like measures that space. I've not personally tried that, so I don't know how accurate that is, but some people swear by it, so you can try that. I just kind of got the hang of it after doing it for a long time, and I think there are some charts out there, but again, every dog varies so much. Your brachycephalic breeds, remember, they have hypoplastic tracheas, so you see a 50-pound bulldog, you're gonna put a tiny tube in that dog because their tracheas are really, really small. So that is one thing to keep in mind. When you have brachycephalic breeds, your tube size is gonna be a lot smaller than you think it's gonna be. You rarely get nice big tubes in those dogs, even though they're big, because they're made wrong. And that's pretty much it.